Hello there, everybody. How you doing? Just came over. I was over on Allie's live for a minute. She's over there breaking things today again. But anyway, so I was over there a little bit just to have fun, jump on her live a little bit before I came over here on this one to talk about what we're going to talk about here today. We're going to talk about motive. But before that, we're going to do this.
Wisconsin can be so cold. Scales of justice can erode. If we accept lies big and bold, oh, we forget we live on Avery Road. We live on Avery Road. Should be easy to see. This could be you, could be me. We shouldn't sit by idly, accepting everything that we are told. I live on Avery Road. I live on Avery Road. Avery Road.
All right. Hello. Hey, how you doing, everybody? Oh, hey there, KCC. Karen, how you doing? Good to see you. Ellie's on at the same time as me. Yeah, she was just so happens she was going to, it's Friday night. What are you going to do? We're going to bump into each other. You know, all of us YouTubers want to go on Friday night, right? Because that's when, anyway. It's just the way, it's just the nature of the game. I'm not mad. I jumped onto her live real quick before I came over to do mine. And she's like, I'll come back to mine after you're done with yours. And I'm like, yeah, I'll do that. All right, I'll be back. So anyways, you guys want, after we're done here, you can go over there. And I'm going to probably jump back onto her live for a little while before I go to bed. I do have to wake up and go to work on Saturday. I know it sucks. So, but we are talking today. Let me turn my camera on. But let's today we're going to be talking about motive. And hello. I don't know what to do about that hair, but anyway. So we're going to talk about motive, and the reason why I got onto this topic is really because I've been contacting people to be part of Amathon, and I've been talking to people and stuff. So the people that I've been talking to have also suggested maybe some other people. And so I've been watching a lot of stuff and making sure I get to know and be familiar with, some of these things. And so one of the things I was watching is a show you guys may remember. This was real popular back in 2016 after Making a Murderer came out. There was a show done on Lip TV by Allison Hope Weiner, and it was Crime Time, and she did these interviews with, one was with a defense attorney, really brilliant. His name was Mike Cavalut. Sorry, let me just say it right. Hold on. Cavalluzzi, Mike Cavalluzzi. He is a lawyer in Los Angeles, in California. Anyway, he's very highly respected and known to be very tenacious and that sort of thing. But he's, but he has a really good reputation, essentially. And I was, really, really, impressed with the guy's passion. I mean, the guy's really, really smart, but he has a great deal of passion, and it comes through when he's talking about these things and everything, right? And so it's one of the things I like. So here, I'll put the link for you guys in the chat. And so I was watching this, and then I was watching, there was another one of these done, again, by Allison Hope Weiner. And it was her interviewing a retired FBI agent profiler, a scientist, basically a scientist, kind of in a similar way as to, the way Scooby is. And then there was a retired, or former prosecutor that was there. And so they were having this kind of roundtable discussion kind of thing. And it was very interesting. And at one point, the FBI profiler got to the point of saying, when I look at this case and I look at everything in it and everything going on, and I look back at 1985, he basically is saying that when he looks at it and all that taken into account, you guys hear the truth tree? Anyway, he takes all that into account, that the only ones he sees that have real motive in this are law enforcement, or to be specific, Manitowoc County Sheriff's Department. And he talks about how it bled into other agencies without being without other agencies doing it knowingly. They just did it as like a courtesy and as a backing for the brothers of the badge, and the way that all happens. And when everybody believes that someone's guilty, they will go ahead and do their little part. And he has a very, very, drawn out, basically very concise, though, explanation as to how, the law enforcement went wrong here, but possibly without really meaning to, just thinking they had the guy, not wanting to really do their job really well, and just, phoning it in, essentially, is what he kind of gets to. So his name's Jim Clementi. Really, really, really cool. I mean, he's, like I said, a retired FBI profiler, so he had a lot to say, and it was very interesting. And that was really one of the things that he was saying that was sticking with me, because he kind of kept coming back to it, was the only ones here that had motive. He goes into Stephen too. He starts talking about, he's like, what on earth would possess Stephen to do this when he did it? He goes, we look at his past. There's no history of him killing and maiming women and all this sort of stuff. There's nothing there to suggest that in the history. There's, maybe other bizarre things about Stephen, really, but there's nothing like that. No murders and no maiming and no anything, like that. So he basically says, so how am I supposed to believe that he suddenly, out of nowhere, decides that's what he does want to do at 40 years old, which is very late for that type of a murderer to present, basically. But then, so he hasn't had any predilection, and then suddenly comes out and does this when he's 40, and literally right at the moment when the two biggest headest honchos were about to be deposed in regards to his 1985 case. A lot of people think that it's about the 36 million here, that's what was being avoided, but sometimes I think maybe that was kind of a secondary consideration to the fact that Vogel and Kasarik did not want to be deposed, and they knew what was going to happen, because they knew everything that had been being said, down the chain of command in the depositions, that if they were going to be trying to lie, that it would have been huge. It would have been a big, huge problem. And I think maybe it was more important to avoid those two depositions, more so than the $36 million lawsuit, I think. So that's kind of my thoughts. head. It's head blown around by the wind in my car today, and yeah, I don't know. Anyways, so I have to apologize if this rubs a few the wrong way. But after seeing you with purple, I am ditching her channel. Her inability to understand the DNA and smugly say PC is easy just turned me off. Well, I obviously don't naysay you in your decision. Everybody has to make their decision of what they like and what they don't like, obviously, in the end. But I'm still okay with purple. I actually found that conversation to be challenging. Whether it's because she didn't get the chance to really fully read it herself, and or whether she was just really looking to kind of dig deeper, she was just kind of continuing to probe further, and it just kind of gave me a chance to talk more and more about the case. So I really didn't mind. I think it was actually fun to go over and chat with her on her channel and talk about the case and all that stuff. So you know anyways, here's the link to the video I was talking about with Jim Clementi. Sorry, I meant to put that in earlier. Well, thank you, Ziggy. I mean, I was rearing to talk about it. I'd already waited like a day or two, like, because I thought we were going to be, doing a live with someone else on Monday. Didn't turn out to be that way. So anyways, when I knew it was just going to be me and Trav, we're going to talk about the case, talk about it or whatever, I decided, when I just happened to tune into Purple's, channel that night. I had just had some free time, saw the notification, and went, let me see, and went over there. And so she was like, come on in, and we'll talk about the reply or whatever. I was like, yeah, all right, okay. So I just went ahead and jumped on there. It did her little Zoom thing. So, but it was fun for me. I mean, hey, it was cool. Motive is still a problem. Steven was prepping for jacuzzis and belly dancers, not a Ken Rat and Kratz. Yeah, right, Truth Monster. I just find her naive. Okay, well, I really enjoyed it because you brought a lot to the table that night. Thanks, Ziggy. Let's see. It's always good when YouTubers get together, whatever their outcome. Yeah, generally it's always good because the fan bases see someone else or another point of view, and so it's always nice for people to have an option, and or to just know that there's another YouTuber out there that talks about something maybe that they already had an interest in but just didn't know that there was somebody out there that they might enjoy listening to. So there's always that. So there's always the chance of people discovering more channels they like by having the kind of crossovers. So it's good manners to just be nice to your fellow community. I mean, good to be part of the solution and try to be less part of the problem, right? So that's why it's good for YouTubers to work together. So Brendan and Steven need to be released yesterday. I'm good. Yeah, I think that's probably that'd be good. But Steven's gonna end up with a new trial, and that's and maybe even Brendan. But like I said, there's no physical evidence against Brendan. A trial, with the way that the wind is blowing now with juvenile confessions, I think we might find a whole different outcome there. Unless the outcome is drama. Don't care for okay. I like knowing we're all working towards the same goal. That's about it, right? That's just it. Wherever people want to go to listen and hear more about Stephen Avery and Brendan Dassey and possibly get their appetite whet to want to learn more, wherever it is, whatever taste is their particular taste, wherever they get exposed to it, I'm good with that. I'm personally, that's just my belief. I believe that we're stronger in numbers. And the more people that are out there talking about it in their own unique way to appeal to their own unique audience, right? I'm fine with that. I support that. So that's basically where I stand on that. I respect everybody's opinion, of course, in the chat. I respect all of your opinions. I get it that I mean, I've had people tell me they don't like me, right? And they like somebody else, or even Purple. I've had people, tell me before, I don't like you anyway, whatever. I'm unsubscribing. I'm going to stick to Purple, or I'm going to stick to whoever. I've had it a couple. It just happens. You just gotta, roll with it. But anyway, it's all about what our particular taste is. So, I fully respect that. Oh, I respect everybody that doesn't like doing drama stuff. Can respect that. Likes the cozy. Thank you, Truth Monster. Did you see the panel at Northwestern with the writer and friends? It's awesome. I think I did, or at least I think maybe I started watching it. I don't know. I'll have to check that out and make sure I finished it. I've seen pretty much everything. I've watched Brendan Dassey, A True Story of a Wrongful or of a False Confession or whatever. I've watched that thing so many dang times. That's like over 2 hours, but I love putting that on like on a Sunday morning and just listening to it for 2 hours while I'm doing whatever on Sunday morning. Can't please all the people all the time, but you can please some of the people some of the time, or at least a higher percentage of the time. The way that saying used to go is some of the people most of the time. But you can't please all of the people all of the time. You just can't. Awesome, Karen. We can't wait either. It's although the planning of it and the intimidating kind of nature of having multiple people on and guests on and some of them, very, very, very well respected guests. So it's like there's a certain amount of tension with it, so there's like all that mixed up. But being a former athlete, I kind of thrive on the feeling. So I guess we're all right. There's Pom Pom just put up the link to the Mammothon Facebook event page for those of you who want to go check that out. There's I also have promos and trailers uploaded to my channel. If you go into the search bar on my channel and type in Mammothon, they'll pop up. You guys can check those out. You can share those. You can share that link anywhere you want, and for other people to see the promos and the trailers for it. I've talked with Steve Moore, and he is totally willing to come on, but he has some training going on right now. So he just got to make sure that the training's going to be done, which he thinks it is. So it's still a maybe, but it's a strong, maybe, leaning strongly towards yes. So that's going to be really cool. I know a lot of you will be excited to hear more from him. So volleyball. How did volleyball come into this? So that would be to prevent the state from claiming Stephen burnt TH in his pit, then use the barrel to move remains to the quarry and simply failing to get them all from his pit. In fact, leaving most of them in his pit, right? Yeah, so like I said, yeah, Steve Moore was enthusiastic, but he wanted me to know that, it does depend on whether or not he finishes up what he's got going on right now, which he believes will be. So I think I just don't want to get anybody's hopes too high, because it could potentially could happen that, he might not be able to come. So, but I'm letting you guys know that it was a very strong positive, leaning towards yes, maybe. But and he even did say he thinks that he will be done by then. So just fingers crossed, positive thinking, and I'm sure it'll all work. And then I was speaking to some other folks that should be exciting. So obviously I've already spoken to some of the top redditors, some of the everybody's favorite redditors, who are willing to come on, not on video, but they will have their profile picture. I'm going to insist that they have their profile picture that they use for like Twitter and Reddit, right? Or Twitter anyway. So I'm gonna have them do that, so that way people can ask their favorite redditors questions. So that's gonna be interesting. So we're gonna have them on at some point, on my live streams. So I'm working on having a lot of exciting stuff to really be there, to be interesting for you guys to want to tune in, and above all else, I want to just create a nice buzz, a nice, make a noise for Stephen and Brendan. And just get people's attention, get people thinking about it again, get people seeing on YouTube going, Amathon live stream, whatever, like to where they're like, because if it gets popular enough, if we start getting say over 300 or 400 or 500 people into the live streams, it could start getting suggested by YouTube people, and that would then potentially bring in even more. So it could be interesting. So, but like I said, working hard at it, and hopefully it's going to be an interesting event. It's going to be a lot of fun, hopefully. And yeah. Hi, Charla. Do you have a day and time when Scooby will be on with you? Yes, tomorrow. I believe tomorrow. We're talking tomorrow. I'm also going to be on with Tracy Keogh this weekend, folks. Those of you who don't know Tracy Keogh, you should follow her on Twitter. She is a very, very, very wise lady. Cozy heads. Wow, that's a blast from the past. We haven't said that in a long time. Side note, your hair looks great. Oh, thank you, Bella. So start to think of good, cute questions and topics to ask the guests. Yeah, that's what I have a little notepad here that I've been making notes in, and questions and things. Well, thank you guys. Thank you, Ziggy. So once again, getting back to talking about motive. So who really had it? I mean, and that's what this one defense lawyer who I was telling you about, Mike Cavaluzzi, that it's what he was pointing out. And well, it's what Jim Clemente was pointing out, is that the ones who really had motive here were the Manitowoc County Sheriff's Department. Stephen Avery had no motive. It's mind-boggling to think that he would have chosen the exact time that he did to pull off this crime. He's just talking about the mind-boggling nature of thinking Stephen Avery was the one that did this immediately, and he thinks that the police did help it along. That he calls it everybody doing their little part. And that just means that everybody believes he's guilty, so they all help it, right? And yeah. Okay, Ziggy, I'm okay. I'm good. Let's see. Hey, everyone, remember to change your chat to live chat instead of top chat so you don't miss any messages. Let's say a constant hum. Yeah, so I should be on with Scooby tomorrow. We were going to be on tonight, actually, but Scoobs just needs a little more preparation time, So she's getting all her little ducks in a row. She wants to give you guys some visual representations of things to help you understand better. So she's pulling out all the stops, So she'll be on tomorrow. And yeah, so I mean, and then the other thing that they keep coming up with here and keep coming back to also, Jim Clemente and the defense attorney Mike Cavalluzzi, was the Nancy Graces, and that she's just a former prosecutor, disgraced prosecutor, twice disgraced prosecutor. And so they get to talking about how in this case the prosecutor didn't really do his job. He just didn't ask the questions, didn't wonder, didn't ask why things were coming in so weird. He just went forward with it and didn't ask any questions. It wasn't about justice. It was about getting a conviction. And that's what this former FBI profiler is pointing out. And it's true. That's exactly what was going on here. And, I'm reminded at Brendan's trial, in closing arguments, Tom Fallon. In his closing arguments, tells the jury, innocent people don't confess. We know that innocent people don't confess. That's an absolute lie. That's a disingenuous statement. That is not true. Innocent people do confess. In fact, the statistics are coming out and showing that it happens a hell of a lot more than some people ever thought. Poppycock. Let's see. Yes, I get it, as I am so happy right now. I knew I was not seeing everything. Take out a wall with that hair. Sherry's helmet hair? Yeah. Like what was that guy in He-Man? The one that was like he had like a metal helmet or whatever, and he could like ram stuff. What was it? I can't remember. Anyway. Sad how many people believe it though. Disingenuous at its best, right? It is sad how many people buy the state's crap in this. It's like, are you kidding? It doesn't make sense. It absolutely doesn't make sense. And to use, I mean, and then that's what takes them into Ken Kratz using the Brendan Dassey's confession to hold that press conference that pretty much made it impossible for them to ever get anything resembling a fair trial for either Steve or Brendan, because they had so badly polluted and like charged the public with an opinion, charged them up in the belief that Steve and Brendan were these horrible rapist, killers, mutilators, all that, right? Yeah. Yeah. It's just, and they talk about how that press conference is just another shady and unethical move by the district attorneys in this case. And yeah, and they also talk about how the whole thing of what happened with Brendan is the thing is really the thing that convinces them the most here. And the reason why is because it reminds them so much of what Travis always talks about, the West Memphis 3. But another one folks maybe don't talk about so much anymore is the Central Park 5. And those are the two other cases that these two guys, Jim Clemente and the scientist guy whose name is escaping me at the moment, those are the two other cases that these two are referring to. Why when they look at what was going on here with Brendan Dassey, that it was exactly like what was going on in the interrogation rooms in those other two cases where these, poor kids were, eventually exonerated, right? So they're pointing out that that's yet another issue here in this case. And Brendan Dassey, once again, just the lengths It really shows the lengths that these guys were willing to go to because they hated Steven or because there was a general dislike for Steven. And they allowed themselves to do all of these things, including railroad a 16-year-old kid, just so that they could throw Avery in a cell. It's disgusting, This guy. Yeah, that guy. Yes, Pom Pom. That's him. Headhunter. Yeah, that's him. Oh, Ram Mans. There you go. Mom crush on He-Man. That's funny. Cole Hair is 100% guilty of being a member of that guilt machine. Oh, yeah. I don't wish it. I don't wish ill on people, but I hope she has nightmares every night of her life. I guess they think of West Memphis 3 more because of the IQ of Jesse Miss Kelly. Yeah, it could be. Ramman is his name. Got it, Julie. Got it, Pom Pom. So, I just think it's interesting. I encourage everybody to, watch these two. You know what? Let me edit this video. Let me edit this real quick and add in these links to these YouTube videos, these crime time videos. I think they're brilliant. I think everybody should watch them. So this one is, this one here. Hold on a second there, folks. So, like I was saying, though, these guys got really a lot of interesting things to say. I think everybody should, I know many of you probably heard these things before, but maybe some of you haven't. And if you haven't, you should check them out because they're very interesting. It's particularly the scientist guy. There's the scientist that's there in the Jim Clemente, interview with the former prosecutor that's there and stuff. It was very interesting. It's just a very interesting discussion. So I'm gonna put both links here, and so all right. All right, so if you guys refresh, you'll see a couple links down below. You go check those out afterwards, or you can save them for later, and you can actually come over to Allie's live after this one and come see us over there. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, Bella. Well, I will be at work the first half of the day tomorrow, unfortunately. But, after that, I'm definitely going to be on with Scooby. I might try to do Scooby and Tracy. In fact, Tracy and Scooby are really good friends, so I might be able to get them on together. So, we'll see. And those of you who don't know Tracy, you should get to know her. She's brilliant. She's been when all the like elections and everything, she had plugged herself into the political structure there. She was posting all kinds of stuff on Twitter to help people get educated about what was going on there with the candidates and that sort of stuff. So she's brilliant. And I think anybody here, you haven't heard of Tracy Keogh, you should go check her out on Twitter. Shira. Yeah, love it. The voice came and woke me up and told me about it. I went to the neighbor's house to get the He-Man back, and Mom opened the door and shot at me. Holy crud. If you go and talk to your pharmacist, they may give you a few to get by until Monday. Ziggy has the best stories. Yeah, thank you, Pom Pom. That's the link to Tracy's Twitter, so follow her. She's brilliant, folks, and she is not just a little bit of a supporter for Brendan. I'll tell you that. She's far more than just a little bit. So, obviously, you take all this fact that, there's really no motive for Steven. All the motive lies with corrupt law enforcement and even district attorneys. Bogle. Even Kratz and Fallon. Look at Fallon. He's on the hook now. He was there the day they gave those bones away. Trying to act like it's not a big deal or saying it's okay because they don't know what they gave the Hall box. Essentially acquiescing and saying we could have given them animal bones. Mind-boggling to consider. And they actually offer this argument like if it's like not more disturbing than perhaps another answer would have been. They have to realize, but how many choices did they have, right? What could they say? How many different things could they have said? It may have been the lesser of all evils. Could have been that kind of a situation. But no matter what, they at least acquiesce to the fact that they don't know what they gave the Hall box. It could be animal bones. My opinion on Rubber Ducky's channel. Same thing I was saying earlier about when people were talking about Purple's channel. Those people who like Rubber Ducky's style and appreciate Rubber Ducky's style and like her flavor should go there and get news about the case because Rubber Ducky likes to go live and read the court documents and stuff like that. So you're going to get a fair amount of what's going on if you're there on Rubber Ducky's channel. And so basically falls into the same realm of everything I said about YouTubers earlier. There's really no difference. I have no problem with Rubber Ducky. Wish her well. And those who like her particular flavor and the way she does it should definitely stick with her and support her. And because, she can use your support if you like her. So that's my official stance. That's how I really feel. So, I'm really curious to know the pulse of Manitowoc Calumet right now. Are the people starting to make the turn toward truth? I think the youth in the area certainly have made that turn, or at least are just willing to look at it without the previous dogma that has existed there. I actually feel bad that I've missed her readings. I'm trying to paste Tracy's website for Brendan, and it's giving me an error. Oh, bummer. Tracy does have a website for Brendan. It's brilliant. So those of you who don't know about that, go check that out. Yeah, I'm sure they would try to help you out. I don't know why it won't let me post it. I always say check it out, and if you like it, keep watching. Well, that's just it. I mean, whatever flavor, if you come here and you don't like the way I do it, you don't like the posters on the wall behind me, or you just don't like the sound of my voice, or you just can't stand looking at my face, whatever it is, and you end up going over to Purple, Rubber Ducky, wherever, wherever you go, Millbilly, Jeebs over there, maybe, wherever you go, if that particular flavor suits you, then I'm all for it. Then that keeps you in the community of supporters. It keeps you interested in the cases, which is what we need. We need people interested. I am not here to debate whether or not, people's taste in YouTubers is correct. If you made the decision that you want to support and make, more awareness around this, then you made the right decision as far as I'm concerned. And I don't really care about the flavor that you prefer. If you think I'm crap and the other YouTubers are great, okay, I'm sorry. Go hang out with those other YouTubers, support them, and let them know you love them. Yeah, Paul. Didn't Paul say when he was there that it seemed many people were questioning the legalities of the trials? Capaldi? When he was there? Paul Capaldi's never been to Manitowoc. I'm not sure. I think I'm missing something there. I don't know. Rubber Ducky's reading is great. That's great. I mean, I actually think what she's doing right now with Queso is pretty brilliant. Because a lot of people aren't able to sit and watch videos. But what some people are able to do is they're able to be in their car on the way to work, or when they're driving in their job, they're able to turn on a YouTube video and they can listen to the pages of Queso. I think it's brilliant. Rubber Ducky, in that sense, her little daily readings, I think, are really cool. Because like I said, and a lot of people tell me the same thing. They listen to me while they're, driving or in the way to work. So they're listening to me in the car. So they appreciate the fact that I read out the questions, because they're not exactly looking at the screen, right? So, all that stuff, right? So that's exactly where Rubber Ducky is filling in on that. Now people can, in their while they're driving or wherever they're doing, they can be listening to Queso and listening to what's in there without, reclaiming time they would have otherwise lost, right? By driving or doing whatever, they can now listen. And so I think it's brilliant. I think Rubber Ducky's, great. I mean, I have no issue. And as I said, I think that particular idea right there is brilliant. Mm-hmm. Thank you, Charla. You and Rubber Ducky do an outstanding job doing this. Keep up the great work. Thank you, James Van Hout. Beautiful moon tonight. All right, Truth Monster. I have to go check that out after this. I actually had an issue with watching Erekose at first, but I stuck around, and here I am. You never know. It keeps you interested in the case, and it keeps you. You had an issue with me, really? Oh, okay. If living pom pom is wrong, don't want to be right. See, now Pom Pom's going to be dealing with me in her inbox, asking her what her issue was with me. It was something super stupid, not even anything to mention, just pointing out that people should give everyone a chance. All right, well, there you go. Anyways, so I mean, yeah, I mean, and I think another thing about these two YouTube videos, which I put the links down in if you refresh the page, you'll see there'll be links down there now. But these two crime time videos, they're just as they go through these little discussions, they just lay out this entire tapestry of how this happens and how it's not necessarily like something malicious, at least not for everybody, not for all the parties involved. It's not malicious. It's actually just kind of dogmatic, going with the flow, basically, with law enforcement officers and so on. So that's, a big part of it. Is it the state's position that it doesn't matter if the bones in the quarry are hers? I believe they're going to make that argument, but have they made that argument? I don't know. I don't know if they've made that argument yet, because I think they're trying to stay away from arguing any of the merits of this right now, because once they start arguing the merits, it's basically like admitting that what they did was wrong. So right now they're, I think, staying away. The closest they got so far is to say they haven't violated statute because they don't know what they gave the hall box, essentially. I enjoy hanging out with you and everyone here. Erekose, you guys do the hard work. I just listen while I multitask. Thank you, Mary Playford. Erekose really does have a soothing type of voice. Oh, well, thank you. I agreed. I'm very appreciative of the wealth of information Erekose brings to us all. Thank you so much, guys. Let's see. Please excuse my double O's. Are you talking about, like... anyway, never mind. No, I know what you're talking about. So, anyways, yeah. I mean, the overall tapestry here, really, when it comes down to it in the end, the overall tapestry here is forcing a square peg through a round hole. It really is. Those bones, why? Okay. See, here's my question. If that is if that burn pit, if that burn pit is the actual burn site, the original burn site, and that Teresa was burned there, right? Why are we missing 40% of the bones? And why are we missing some rivets of the Daisy Fuentes jeans along with the waist button of the Daisy Fuentes jeans? Not found. And you saw the way they sifted that pit, folks. You saw the machines out there. They were sifting that whole thing or whatever. They would have found the waist button if it was there. So it's just like there's so much missing there. How can I believe it's the original burn site? And the fact that if they were able to prove that several of Teresa's bones were over in the Manitowoc County gravel pit, yeah, I think that makes a big difference, in my opinion. I have to put videos of yours that I've already watched on to fall asleep to when my pain level is high. You are soothing. I thank you. Oh, well, thank you, Bella. I appreciate that. Well, I'm glad I can help you when you're in pain. So that's awesome. Some of my words have 2 O's when they should have 1. How can you even prove the bones came from the pit? Could be from anywhere. Well, that's in fact they could be, but the facts in the case have been determined by King Kratz, because he got the jury to buy into it, that is the original burn site. So now KZ is proving that is not. And if it was, these bones that we find over in the Manitowoc County gravel pit would have been in it. So bones were burned at the funeral home by the cops and had access to the funeral. Yeah, a lot of people say those bones came in a box and those bones left in a box. And then all the sifting and all that stuff was just kind of for show. I don't know. It's hard to believe that necessarily, but Where are all the teeth? I know a lot of teeth missing. Where are those? You know, it's just like all the stuff that's like little and loose and would have got lost is gone. You know? Let's see. No, they do. And where are all the teeth? You're right. Yeah, exactly. So it's like when you go over it over and over again, you look at the hood latch. You know, why is there's 19 times more DNA than you would normally get from touch DNA? Why? Because it was from a groin swab that was taken, or a buccal swab, whichever one it was, taken by the nurse that shouldn't have been taken and was supposedly thrown away. But Steven says he looked back and saw that Wiegert didn't throw it away. So that's going to have Wiegert on the hook for what games is he playing. But yeah, with that hood latch DNA, I mean, just like everything you look at, the system, why is there blood flakes? Huh? Blood? Who bleeds flakes? You're telling me Steven bleeds flakes? Really? Right? So, anyways, that's what I'm getting at. When you look at the overall tapestry of this thing, that's why I say that the probabilities are that Steven was completely framed by these guys, and whoever really was stalking Teresa and was really a danger to Teresa got away scot-free. Who knows where they are now? Yeah. I'm telling you, I don't bleed flakes. That's what I'm telling you. Yep, I'm telling you that. All right. So, we're going to go ahead and get back over. We're going to head over to Allie's channel. I just wanted to get on and talk a little bit about this tonight. Motive and who really had the incentive here, what it was probably really about, maybe less so the 36 million and more so about stopping the two major depositions that were about to happen right when this all went down. So, you know, a lot of things, but just wanted to cover those things. Before we head back over and hang out with Allie, I think, well, those of you who are going to come over to hang out with Allie, I hope most of you, because when it comes to MAMathon, the next person that I'll be handing off to on Friday night will be Allie. So, but if you guys want to come on over there and check out with her, but first we are going to listen to a little bit of Stacy on the way out, and then we'll head over to Allie's channel and show Allie some love. All right? Are you guys with me? Yeah. What's up, Falcon? Hey, Falcon, you can jump over to Allie's channel, dude. In fact, I'll be there and more people. So, and you can she'll probably even give you the link. You can join the hangout if you want. So go on over there and hang out with us, dude. Good job on the promos and trailers, dude. Just one small request. Could you please use the acoustic versions if we do any more of those, just so that it's a little easier for us to upload them? Thanks, buddy. All right, so here we go. A little bit of Stacy on the way out.
So let's keep talking about Avery. Yeah, let's keep talking till he's set free. Oh, you just listen, I think you'll see why it matters, really matters. Put aside the documentary, the state's version ludicrousy. Oh, all their claims so blatantly get torn to tatters. I think that matters. I bet you heard about hood latch sweat, but maybe you ain't heard this yet. 19 more times the DNA that was left anywhere else that day. I think that matters. I really do. I think it matters. An ex-boyfriend with a day planner page, and yet they did not investigate. And who knows why, and who can say why he was signed into the crime scene that day. I think that matters. I really do. I think it matters. About the barrel that once was seized, but then returned to the Averys. The bones were found the next day, but not one photograph exists of where they lay. I think that matters. I really do. I think it matters. I could go on listing things off. 80 more things.
Finn.
I just keep on singing these songs. Till Avery freedom rings, I said it matters. It really, I know it matters. It could be you, I think it matters. It could be me, I know it matters. Work with Casey, it matters. I said it matters. It really matters.
All right, folks. Head on over to Allie's channel. Show her some love. You know the drill here. Hit the like button. If you haven't already, please hit subscribe. Be there for Mammothon weekend, folks. We're actually putting in a great deal of effort on this, and we'd love to see you there. And be good to each other. We'll see you.